Now, tonight, your Chicago Bulls, they travel to Charlotte to take on the Bobcats, who, in all honesty, really don't present too much of a threat. I mean, they're 14 and 21. They are 10 and 9 at home, though, but I wouldn't be shaking in your boots for that. The Bulls are actually trying to get back to a 500 record on the road. They're only 8 and 9, so that's not something to hang your hat on. But they are 25 and 12. They're gonna go take on Michael Jordan's team, the Charlotte Bobcats, because he owns them, and he's not doing too good of a job right now. But then again, he did inherit very much a mess of an NBA franchise. Just to give you an example of how easy this game might be, the Charlotte Bobcats are only 28th overall in the NBA in points per game with 93.2. The Chicago Bulls are averaging 99.2 points per game. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bulls lay down or if they step it up, because I want to say it's a for sure thing that they win, but it's not. You take a look at what they did against the Sixers and what they did against the Nets. Two teams they should have hands down beat, and they didn't. And it was very embarrassing. The Nets game, they should have won that game, and they made the surge that they usually do. They make that surge that they usually make, but it didn't work. And that was kind of an eye-opener, because it usually works, and it didn't work. And then again, the Sixers game was just a mess. There's not much you can say about that. There's no real positives that can come out of that Sixers game. The game on Monday against the Pistons, however, I'm pretty sure you've all seen Derrick Rose's insane alley-oop. He was a monster in that game. Just giddy thinking about it. But the game against the Pistons is the Bulls that we recognize. The games against the Sixers and the Nets are games that we don't recognize. They're not. That's not our Bulls. That's the baby Bulls. That's mid-decade Bulls right there. That's 2004. So really, what this week is just a lead up to the Heat game. The Heat game on Saturday is what's gonna make this week. The games in between, like tonight against the Bobcats and then Friday against the Pacers, you want to say they're lie down games, practice games, not lie down games. That lie down games that's bad phrasing. Practice games, because they essentially are. Because the Charlotte Bobcats, they're only 14 and 21, and the Indiana Pacers, they're 15 and 20. So really not competing for any championships here. And the Bulls are holding a pretty nice lead in the division, so maybe that would be the motivation that the Pacers have to win. Outside of that, they're really games for the Bulls to hone their skills before taking on the Heat, which is going to be the game where everybody watches to see what kind of team the Bulls are. Because the Celtics game, the Boston beatdown game, was a game where the Bulls came out of nowhere, it seemed like, and just crushed the Celtics, who are the second best team in the Eastern Conference. They're a titan in the Eastern Conference, and the Bulls came in there and they handled business, and that was a good thing to see. The previous two games wouldn't have told you that, so it's really going to be hard to gauge based on history with the Bulls. Those two games, and then the Celtics game, and then these two games and the Heat game. Well, these three, I guess, if you include the Pistons game, and then the Heat game. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of Bulls team shows up, because we don't know at this point. I'd like to say that we know what kind of Bulls team we're dealing with, but the kind of Bulls team I thought we had was a Bulls team that's not going to lose to the Heat, and is not going to lose to the Nets, and not going to lose to the 76ers, and hopefully not lose to the Heat. So I don't know if we want to gauge the Celtics game versus the Heat game. Maybe they don't care in small games. Maybe they're playing small ball teams, so to say, and they don't feel that they need to bring 100%. But now they know they need to bring 100% to the court every night, not just against the Celtics. I'd say against the Magic, but I don't want to talk about that. That's old. That's old news. In the past, we're ahead of that. So the Bobcats game is tonight, and what we're going to be watching, or what I want you to watch, is watch out for Derrick Rose, because after the game he had on Monday, he's going to be coming in red hot. He's going to be the talk of the town. It's going to be Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose's alley oop, Derrick Rose's points, and Derrick Rose's this and that, which it usually is. And now he's backed it up with the performance he had on Monday. So watch for Derrick Rose, because if he lights it up again, that's going to be the confidence booster that he needs. Not so much confidence booster. I guess it would more be honing his skills, because he can do that here and against the Pacers. And hopefully it works against the Heat. And then Carlos Boozer as well. Because when Batman and Robin have a good game, they are going to leave that off to the Bulls. The Bulls are going to feed off of that, and the rest of the team is going to surge. Ronnie Brewer said that the other night after watching Derrick Rose. He said that when you see somebody with that type of energy, it's contagious, it's infectious, and you feed off of that. So if Derrick Rose and Carlos Boozer have great nights against the Bobcats, which if I was a betting man I'd say is a good possibility of that happening, then you look for them to be on a little bit of a hot streak. And you're going to want to go into a hot streak going up against the Heat, which of course is the marquee game. And even after the Heat game, there's still games. The season doesn't end with the Heat game. I might be making too much of the Heat game, but because after the Heat game you have the Grizzlies, which is on national television. I'll get to that in a second. Then the Bobcats again. This is the home stretch. They close out home at the United Center. The Bobcats, the Mavs, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Magic, and the Pacers. The Memphis Grizzly game is on ESPN. It's on national television. The Heat game on Saturday is not on ESPN. It's not on national television. It's on NBA TV if you're lucky enough to have NBA TV, but if you're not, you're out of luck. So somehow the Memphis Grizzly game is an ESPN game. It's a 1 o'clock game, so I guess it's an afternoon game. So maybe that's the allure to that game. It's a day game. Whatever. I'm not in charge of programming at ESPN, so I guess they have something more interesting to put on than the Bulls and the Heat on Saturday. But TNT has something interesting to put on Thursday, January 20th. The Bulls and the Mavs at the United Center, live from the United Center. So that's a night game. Don't have to worry about a day game there. Monday day game. That's really odd, because Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I guess maybe that's why they have matinee basketball for you. But so after tonight's game against the Bobcats, the Bulls are on the road 2 more times before they're then back home for the rest of the month, because they're on the road tonight in Charlotte. They're on the road on Friday in Indiana against the Pacers, and then they're on the road again Monday against the Grizzlies in Memphis. And then they have the Heat at home on Saturday, and then Tuesday is home against Charlotte, Thursday is home against the Mavs, Saturday is home against the Cavs, Monday is home against the Bucks, then a week off, Friday against the Orlando Magic, and then Saturday against the Indiana Pacers. That closes out January for the Chicago Bulls, and that just about closes out the first edition of Bulls Talk. We kind of stumbled through our first one here. First time's you're always kind of cautious about the first time. You don't want to do anything you're not supposed to do here, and kind of want to make it look good. Hopefully we kind of did that. I'll admit it was a little rough. Maybe not so much for you, but we hope you keep coming back. I'm Josh Hill, lead editor and lead writer for PippenAin'tEasy.com and producer for Bulls Talk. And just want to remind you again of our contest, the Look Like an All-Star contest. We got running through All-Star Week. It goes live tomorrow. You send us your favorite Bulls memory from the championship run, or any Bulls memory, really. We're not going to get too particularly picky with this. Give us your favorite Bulls memory, and we like what we hear. If you appease us, cranium, get that going, and really we're liking what we're seeing here, we'll give you a t-shirt for it. They're brought to you by Mighty Fine Clothing, and they're mighty fine looking t-shirts, might I add. We'll have pictures of them up on the show page tomorrow, and we might actually have some pictures up with this as well. And they're women's t-shirts, so guys, don't get too depressed. If you wanted a Bulls t-shirt, you gotta share the love. Win it for that special lady in your life. If she's got something annoying she wants you to do, give her the t-shirt. You know, there you go. Tension breaker. And give her some chocolates. Give her some flowers with the t-shirt Valentine's Day. You might get some Bulls tickets back in return. That is an awesome deal to me. Here's a t-shirt. You know what? She needs to use it now. You have the t-shirt. Let's go to a Bulls game. That's perfect to me. That's just absolutely perfect. So, and ladies, if you have your favorite Bulls memory, cut out the middleman. Send us your favorite Bulls memory, and we'll give you the t-shirt. No middleman, you get it. Bada bing, bada boom. So, a lot of ways this can work out. Bottom line is, we're giving away t-shirts. If you want one, all you gotta do is write it down. Favorite memory, give it to us. Boom. So, as for the frequency this show is going to be out, we're not 100% certain. Whether it be daily or weekly. It'll be more frequently than monthly. That I can guarantee you. Hopefully this catches on a little bit, and then we can keep going. I got about a good 20 shows in me. And after that, if it's not catching on, it's just going to slowly die out and as a failed experiment. But I don't want that to happen. And if you're not a big fan of reading, this beats reading any day of the week. Listening to somebody talk. Not even for that long. So, well, hopefully we get something rolling here. Hopefully this catches on. You can leave your comments. You can leave your criticism if you want. You can listen to this show specifically for criticism if you want. I'm not going to judge you. It's a free country. That's a beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. You can post anything you want. Just keep it appropriate, though. I mean, come on. We don't want to see anything nasty up there. So if you want to comment, you want to suggest anything, you want to criticize, you're open to do that. You can comment down below. You can email us at the contact section up there or at the email link down at the bottom of the screen. So any way you want to contact us with any kind of anything you want, you go ahead and do that. We'll see you next time. This was Bulls Talk on Pippen Ain't Radio Network.